If anybody from the public is going to speak, just state your name before you speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. You may begin.
I may begin.
Yes.
We're going to call to order the meeting of the Board of Commissioners for Thursday, August 3rd, 2023. It is 9 a.m. Please join me for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we have public comment. If anyone wishes, please rate. Of course, Fred.
Yes, Fred Kane. I do have the papers for the commissioners, and I just want to make a couple of comments. I was reviewing over the county budget. County budget for the agency staff, December 31st, 2020, was $14,295.25. They budgeted $15,000 for 2021, and as of April 30th, they had spent zero. A couple of weeks ago, Commissioner Plass stated that they anticipated spending $1.2 million in agency staff. So we go from under $15,000 2 years ago to $1.2 million. On January 5th, Howard Chandler came to speak to the board. I write you out of my sincere concerns about Mountain View community is quickly reaching a point where the quality of care significantly compromised. Recent events continue to negatively impact staff members' morale and the intent for the ability of the Carroll County to retain existing staff or to attract new staff. The staffing situation is crucial. Right now, it's on the edge of collapse. Then in the Conway Sun, he posted another letter to the editor. Mountain View has always been the jewel of the Carroll County government. Sadly, events have tarnished the jewel. Another sentence here, all nursing homes are in the midst of the worst nursing staffage in history, making this the worst possible time to eliminate a key position. The position of Assistant Director of Nursing was eliminated with absolutely no involvement with prior notice to the Director of Nursing or any other member of the leadership team. This resulted in confusion, frustration on part of the staff, and the concern over whether the failure of the transition responsibilities could result in compromise the level of care to the residents. Additional concerns have been raised suddenly, adding more responsibility to those overwhelmed by staffing shortage. Much of what the Assistant Director of Nurses has directly related to comply with state and federal regulations, and concerns have been raised. What will happen when the state arrives for the survey? We saw one of the surveys now, and we're in the midst of another one. Remaining staff are there to wonder the future can be like this happened to Patty. Insist taking steps to improve staff morale. We have been talking about the staff morale here for quite some time. This board has known about it since January. Last week, your Director of Nurses, your administrator comes in and does the report. She says there's currently 14 agency staff there, many resignations, few hires. She also talked about transportation, was a big concern. So when I went back and looked at some of the minutes, I have the minutes from July 21st, 2021, the Department Heads Report. Administrator Deidre Brown, state survey occurred last week. The survey was wonderful. Staff did an amazing job. Dee was on the job for about 4 weeks at this time. She had just been hired, so she had nothing to do with that survey. She said a few minor findings related to documentation. At full capacity with the waiting list. Very impressed how the staff does their job and how dedicated they are. We'll be submitting a proposal for ARPA funds to reinstate the in-house transportation service. So now we're 2 years later, we're still talking about transportation. Nothing has been done. Integrity matters. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Chris.
May I also, I'd like to leave, I know Chuck's new, so I'd like to leave him a little bit of that information that was brought to the board, and he could review it, see how we got to this point. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Seeing none, moving on. Any media questions?
We have comments, but not about this.
Well, any public comment was my request.
Okay, all right.
So if you have public comment, please stand, give your name, and
Hi, my name is Karen Burnett-Curie. I'm from Wolfboro, New Hampshire. And I have been trying to catch up on the sale of the situation on the sale of the county courthouse. And as a result of what catch-up I've been able to accomplish, I have some questions and concerns related to that sale. And I am concerned in particular that it shouldn't proceed until the public has had more information and has had more answers to questions that it has around the preservation of the historic nature of the building, the process that was used, the review of the application, which I watched the meeting and was very disappointed in the review that took place in the context of the public part of the meeting. I have no way of knowing what discussion took place at other times around the use, but I have concerns related to whether or not appropriate consideration was given to the impact that the decision is going to have on the school district, on the neighborhood, on the county in general, and I would suggest that the public, given it as a public resource, and we own the building at this point, I can understand that the county commissioners are concerned in finding an appropriate owner and use for the building, but at this point, when the building was taken back in last October, turned over, as I understand it, finally the end of October, the county commissioners indicated they had no use in mind and that they were seeking public input. And I've seen very little initiative taken on soliciting input. I've seen very little initiative taken on getting feedback on potential ideas that the county commissioners had. And so it seems that we've leapt from seeking input to an RFP that I don't understand the timeline of, to a choice of a sale that I don't understand the characteristics of, particularly pertaining to the historic preservation of the building and several other characteristics of the sale, to now where it's not clear. There's a purchase and sales agreement that says nothing about the historic nature of the building, and there's no clear idea from the point of view of the public, the local public in particular. I understand that the delegation voted on it, but the impact is most severely seen by the people who live around it and who live in the school district that's impacted by the changes. And I see that there's been little opportunity for us to grasp what is going to be the impact from the decision by the county commissioners. And I would suggest that while it is not your responsibility to, consider the school itself, and I would suggest that because of the way the school was approved, which is through a state process, there has been no opportunity for the local people to have gain any understanding of it. And as a county entity, a government entity working in the context of other county and government entities, it seems like it would have behooved you and us, the public, to know more before a decision was made, given the impacts it will have on all of us as community members, as school district residents, as people who care about our historic resources.
Thank you for your comments. Any others?
Hi, my name is Kathy Dragonfly, and I'm from Wolfboro, New
I
Hampshire.
have to remind you all, you have 3 minutes for
Okay.
public comment.
All
That's
right.
the time that we allow.
All right. My name's still Kathy Dragonfly. I do have a lot of concerns about the courthouse. The deeds were very unclear from when the county switched it to Ossipee Historical Society, and then when they reverted back to the county, there were no deeds that made that happen. Melissa gave me one that was from the county to Ossipee Historical Society. But I have quite a few questions. I had problems understanding the RFP process, but like I said, I don't understand why the school didn't have to go through the process of changing the district. The school does not meet the definition of zoning, and that would require notification to the neighbors. I think it's very difficult for the neighbors to hear, we're going to put 300 people in your front yard, you don't mind, do you? That's what they're getting compared to what they should be getting. And there was a lot of discussion that this building was costing the county $45,000 per year, but I see no documents addressing why it was costing that much. The building was shut down, so I don't understand that. The Ossipee Village zoning, it is intended to blend living, business, and public service use in the Ossipee Village districts. I don't see that that's happening. They don't meet any of the definitions. They require a special exception. Did the commissioners address, oh no, I'm sorry. The Governor Wentworth represents 5 towns, but there are 18 towns in the county. We don't believe that it was properly notified to the public. The other thing is that I wondered, the name of the organization that has the charter is ICC, and when you go to ICC, it immediately takes you to North Star. What I would like to know is, did you sign the agreement, the purchase and sale agreement, with North Star or with ICC? And
If I may interrupt, we did not have anything to do with the signing of the purchase and sale. That is the delegation. We don't have
But
any
did you-
control over the sale of property. The delegation does. They're the ones that okayed the purchase and sales and signed it, and they would be the ones that will sign on the closing.
But I understand it was a commissioner who signed the purchase and sale, and the purchase and sale doesn't seem right. And legally, there was nothing in there like the closing date. I read that in the Conway Daily
The
Sun.
the closing date was set for before 60 days of when the purchase and sale was signed. It
And,
has been.
and when would that be?
The date on the purchase and sale, Melissa?
June 5.
June 5th.
So it will be 60 days from then?
It has to be done within the 60 days. And it was not a commissioner who signed the purchase and sales. It was the chair of the delegation.
Do you know who that is, please?
The chair of the delegation is Lino Avellini.
Okay. Another big concern is that I didn't see any due diligence on the commission from showing the building, from getting passes from the New Hampshire and National Registry of Historic Places. I saw no plans for the building. I never knew why the building was abandoned in the first place. There is a clause in the deed that says if it's closed for more than 1 year, then it reverts back to the county, but as we know, it's 18 towns. Like I live in Wolfboro, I don't read the Conway Daily Sun. So I wouldn't know if it had ever been noticed or not, and I doubt the 18 towns also know that.
If I may, we had, as you said, it had been given back to us in October. Public, it was made public that it was given back. Myself had taken 2 or 3 people on a tour through the building to see if they had any suggestions on what to do, and they had none.
Who were those people?
I took the people from Bluebird through, and then there was also a contractor that came through, and I don't remember his name, but we have,
Do you know?
I don't remember.
I
who
can't
it was.
recall right now.
But that would have been after the RFP.
No, that was before the RFP. That was shortly after we got it back from the Historical Society. So just because you didn't see something doesn't mean we haven't done anything.
Well, where did you?
And that
Excuse
wasn't
me.
what was said.
Excuse me? Miss Dragonfly has the floor.
Where was that posted?
It wasn't posted. People called and I said, let's go through.
So there was no public notice that the building was selling?
Yes, it was in the paper.
Which paper?
Conway Daily Sun.
Okay, and as I just said, there are 18 counties, and it's not our responsibility to, I had to subscribe to that paper for $70 to get the article. And
So
it wasn't put in the county, Carroll County, it wasn't in the Granite State News, it wasn't in any of the northern papers. It all seemed very hush-hush to us. This is how it seems to me. This is, ICC was, North Star was an additional buyer who was interested. I'm not sure your background, but I don't believe you're an architect, a lawyer, a financial expert, any of those people. I'm not sure what authorization you had to show the building. I'd like to see an architect. I'd like to see a survey on the building to see what is wrong with the building, because if we pass that building to another organization, it could be toxic, and then we would be liable as the county. It's been my experience in the past that has happened, which is why I'm concerned for the county. And there were several other people interested once the RFP was out, and everybody was shocked by the decision. There were a lot of people that were interested, and I would think at that point you might have stopped and tried to include the other people. And as far as the delegation is concerned, they made that decision on your recommendations. It came to you first, and there was, like I said, there was no period after the RFP. There was nothing for people to say, and there are a lot of details like the school will be allowed to be on our water system. Is our water system acceptable for this?
That is between the school and your Board of Selectmen. We have nothing to do with any of that.
But you made the decisions to sell the
To sell
county
the building, to sell the building.
for
Pure
$1,
simple.
$1.
Correct.
But when we had people willing to spend hundreds of thousands, why would we do that?
Well, excuse me, but not one other person contacted us. I don't know, all these people that are interested, they didn't come to us.
Because
Not at
we
all.
feel that maybe we've got one commissioner here. Is he making the decisions?
What one commissioner?
Isn't this Mr. McGee a commissioner?
He has nothing to do with it. He wasn't even involved. He was not a commissioner until
Let me interject.
you went.
I think you're losing sight of what this is about. We had a building that was no longer useful and had outlived its usefulness in terms of the county, and it was put up for sale. My understanding is it was put up for sale. To say that people weren't aware and weren't given an opportunity, I think is disingenuous. I don't believe that was the case. And the decision was made in the best interest of the county and spending taxpayer dollars to sell the building. Now, I wasn't here, and honestly, I wasn't deeply involved in the county operation at that point. But to say that, to come before everybody and say everybody wasn't given a fair chance to discuss it or talk about it, I don't believe it's true. And I may be wrong about that, but I think there was in my opinion, there were plenty of information out there, people that wanted to do something with it. And now to come before us and say, oh, you shouldn't sell the building because everybody wants to do everything. Well, where were they? The bottom line is it costs the county money to take care of the building. Is it a historic building? Sure, maybe it is, but who's going to put the money into it? You want to spend taxpayer money to rehab the building for $500,000?
Yes, I
$1 million?
do. Yes, I
Well,
do.
then you have to take that.
The same people, we can't spend the money, but the state can give them 1.1 million. The state can give them rental assistance. Who are they paying rent to? If they buy the building for $1, they then need 50,000. Who are they paying
That's
that?
not, that's not.
Who are they paying the
That's not our
50,000?
That's not our purpose. Our purpose is we have a building that's costing us money, and we have to do something with it. And we continue to pour taxpayer money into a building that we're no longer using, and it's out of its useful life for the county.
Okay,
And we had a chance to sell the building. Somebody stepped forward. You're saying all these other people wanted the building. Well, where were they? Where are their proposals? Did they send them to us? And to say that they didn't have a chance to do that is just not true. There was plenty of information. I can't believe for 3 seconds people did not know it was available for sale.
Where
That's just
where
my
was
own
it
personal
posted?
opinion.
Where was it
What
posted
place?
and for how long?
The chairman just said it was in the paper. I mean, was it in every paper? Perhaps it should have been in every paper.
What paper?
One paper that you have to subscribe to. How many weeks was it posted?
Madam Chair, can I interject just
You may.
1 second?
She
My name's Dallas Emery.
certainly has spent
Um,
more.
I watched all of these meetings. Everything was public. Everything was everybody was notified. The sale of the school was, you could have come to the meeting. I sat here and watched the meeting with the state reps. Anybody could have came. I think they did a great job handling that whole situation because it was a mess. Historical Society couldn't afford it anymore. They turned it back over to them. They said, oh, we've got all of these taxes to pay. We need to do something with this building. And all of it was publicly notified. Everybody should have been able to come. I was here. I don't know why you weren't.
Okay, it's my turn. Do you have
No,
a
I asked for the floor. Did I? Okay, I'm sorry.
I
Did
thought you
ask for
said
the
it
floor?
was still,
You asked to respond to her.
I asked if yes, that's right, and I'm trying to. So, I believe he is correct, Mr. McGee, you are correct, she's being disingenuous with this whole situation. I believe there's something else going on there, maybe it's the school, maybe they don't like the school. I'm not sure, but what you did was fine, and I think that this is ridiculous right now.
Thank you.
Okay.
may I have the floor again?
No, you have 3 minutes.
Way over your 3 minutes, you can say one more thing, and then if you have other further questions, please write them down, and we'll do the best we can to get them answered to you.
Okay, well, you consistently interrupted me. He just interrupted me, and I've got more than one question. I'm not sure why it was costing $45,000. I am not sure who professionally made the decisions to abandon the building originally. I do not know why it's costing $45,000. I said that, but I don't think you've given the situation the impact on the neighborhood. Like I said, the zoning is incorrect. The deed says you have to do historical restoration both inside and out, but you've now given permission to this school to make you've given the school permission to make any changes they want. I do not know why it's costing $45,000. I said that, but I don't think you've given the.
There's feedback from someone on the Zoom. Oh, I apologize.
It's my understanding that you are supposed to make the best decisions based on the county's needs. I do not see anywhere where it was documented. I don't see where it was notified. You don't have the answers to my question. When was it notified? How many times was it notified? Was the whole county notified? Was the zoning changed? Was the agreement made with
Excuse me?
North Star or ICC? You don't even know that, I'm sorry, but this is very upsetting to me, and Your responsibility is to do the best job for the entire county. And by selling that building for $1, that is not doing anything for the county.
No one else came, excuse me.
But it wasn't notified
Yes, it was
correctly.
notified.
You know,
Where
we-
and
we-
when?
Notified.
Madam Chair,
That's enough.
we've beaten this to,
Yes.
we've beaten this horse to death. But,
You've had-
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, sir.
we hear you, you're entitled to your opinion, and the decision's been made to sell the building, and that's what's gonna happen.
All right, well, I would like to see the deed that goes from the Historical Society to the county, and I'd also like to see the deed that is being passed on, and who is it being passed on to, ICC or North Star? They are different situations. ICC is a pass-through for other organizations. North Star is that other organization. If you go to their website, it takes you right to North Star. Who did you sign the agreement with? You don't know any of these questions, and if you don't know the answers, how would you expect me to know the answers?
We signed a PNS.
Yes.
I'm sorry,
There's a name on the PNS.
what is the name?
Whatever the name is who is the entity.
But do you
that's
expect
buying
us to do this research? Do you expect us to do this research, or is it
If you
your
want to.
responsibility
We
to
already
make
did.
it public?
We already
We're
did
we're
our
not,
research.
Madam Chairman,
What?
we don't need to debate this any further. It's way over the 3 minutes. There are other people waiting.
How many commissioners are
Please
there?
take your seat.
There are two.
At the
So-
present time, there's two.
And one of them had resigned and hadn't left, from what I understand. I don't think you've done an appropriate job for the entire county.
That's your opinion, and you're welcome to it. Now, please take your seat.
Has there been an appeal process?
Please take your seat now. Yes?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Jonathan Smith. I am here on another issue on the agenda, but I am a selectman of Ossipee, and I'm also the part-time zoning officer. I just wanted to bring some truth to the fact on this charter school. It is in the village district. It is permitted to operate as a school. There is no special zoning variance required. The use is permitted by the zone. They will have to go to a site plan review for the overall operation of the school. So the public will get some input when that does happen, but as far as zoning is concerned, it is a permitted use.
It says
And the,
nothing about school.
and the water, excuse me, and the water system, that actually is the county system that they are actually feeding off of, not the town's municipal system. So, thank you.
Do we have any other public comments?
May I make one more comment since I was interrupted 4 times, please?
No.
No. Okay, I just wanted to be on film that I've just been denied and you don't know any of the answers to my questions.
Madam Chair, there's someone on Zoom that has a question or a
Okay.
comment.
Go ahead. Who is it?
Madam Chair,
Matthew Flash?
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, good. So I'm Matthew Platch. I'm a former commissioner. I have resigned a couple days ago. The person who just spoke obviously has a lot of concerns, and certainly she's certainly entitled to have answers. All of this is public information. Attorneys were involved in preparing deeds. They're all available. It's certainly, she can review them. All of this was vetted and it was voted on by the delegation. It was all done properly and legally. As I recall, we spent a long time evaluating this building even before it was returned to the county. And there was a long process involved in returning it to the county. And even before that happened, we contacted realtors, what are we gonna do with this, and tried to find a use for it. And then once it was returned, there was a long process, very public, multiple meetings. There were multiple stories in the newspaper. I believe there was a meeting where a reporter from the Granite State News was invited. I don't think she attended, but there were plenty of opportunities for the public to be made aware. And there was tremendous discussion in all kinds of local forums. This is not something that just happened in the past week. All the local Facebook forums, there was discussion. There was I guess there are some people who are saying that this is a, quote, religious school. It is not, but I think that might have some people upset. But you know how things are on the internet. There's always people spreading information that isn't true or isn't accurate, and then people get upset. But this was an orderly process, a legal process, done properly, vetted, months of time. I mean, it was done very slowly and meticulously and thoroughly. So, there was plenty of time to object, and plenty of time for someone else to make a bid. There was one bid.
There were two.
By the way, the costs are in the budget. The budget, the costs for maintaining this building are spelled out in the budget. And, we went through that at length with Bob Murray. It includes insurance. It includes taxes to the town of Ossipee. It includes heat. It includes maintenance on the building. It includes keeping the roof intact.
Was that
The
before
building
we
needs to be
sold it,
heated
or?
in the winter or it will not survive. So, and it goes on, like, it includes landscaping and cutting the lawn and the bushes. There's all kinds of costs involved with keeping a building of this nature. And it's a very large building that's just empty. There was one entity that was interested in using it, and it's a school, a public school, a charter school. It's not part of Governor Wentworth.
It's public. It is.
And it was approved by the department, it's got a charter from the Department of Education. It's not for us to judge the school.
No, I get it.
They have substantial amounts of funding and money that is available.
Did you check?
They got a lot of that from the state, but that's fine. So,
Who's Bob Murray?
in other words, I think the due diligence was done, there was plenty of opportunity, and so,
Thank you,
Okay.
that's all I have, Madam Chair.
thank you.
I hope that helps.
Excuse
I hope
me,
that helps
I
put
still-
things in.
I'd like to, he spoke longer than I did, so I'd like
And
to
he's
say.
a member of the
Excuse-
public.
Excuse me, I'd just like to say, I watched the meeting where the RFPs were open. There were two of them. One of them you're going to say is not an RFP because it was a letter, and although it wasn't in the minutes that it didn't meet your criteria, in your minutes you indicated there were two RFPs bidders. Secondly of all, I watched the discussion. There was no discussion. It was no analysis. There were comments, it lasted a few minutes. There was comments that said, oh, they've attached this, they've attached that, they've attached this, and that was the entire depth of it. There was a representative from the school at the meeting. They weren't asked one question. They weren't asked to even present, not answer a question, just talk to us. None of that took place. The conversation went immediately from, oh, it has this paperwork here, to, oh, we need to take it to the delegation, they're meeting tomorrow, can we take it to them tomorrow? I watched the meeting. It was exactly that way. Now, you didn't take it to them the next day. For whatever reason, you took it to them on the June 5th meeting. I asked for all the minutes of the meetings that had any discussion related to the school. I was told there were 3, and in one of them, I could find no mention of, not the school, the sale. I could find no mention of the sale. So I found it was discussed, as I just described, at the February meeting, and then it was voted on in the June meeting. And that was as perfunctory a discussion as the February meeting was. So to suggest that there was a lot of due diligence, I don't know that, because all the evidence that I have, that I can read, that I can see, is very perfunctory and didn't involve due diligence. Now, if you did it, then we have a right to know what it was.
Thank you. No. No more public.
Okay, I'd like to know that I did not give my 3 minutes because everybody interrupted me.
You get way more than your 3 minutes.
Madam Chair, I just have a very quick final comment.
Yes.
Madam Chair, GovernmentOversite.com has been covering this county since 2011. And just for the record, I want people to understand, with no compensation from the county commissioners whatsoever. If you go to the website, under the search parameter, and type in courthouse, you will find video clip after video clip that only has the portion when the courthouse was mentioned available to watch. There's about 2 years of meeting videos where that courthouse shows up. Everything from when it had the roof problem. There are also 3 different tours that are videotaped that I went with you to videotape the interior. To say that no one in the county understands or knew about this courthouse and its issues is beyond me. I post on every single Facebook page, and it even says under the main comments that the courthouse is mentioned. You can't miss it. I'm only hearing people saying that they saw 2 different meetings. That's not it. Go to the website and look under search, type in courthouse, all the information is there. And for the two years that this courthouse was discussed, no one came into these meetings like they are now to talk about it. If they were here from the beginning and it was on your agendas, to be fair to you, they should have shown up very early on so they had a say in how it was going to be disposed of or went under disposition. So just respect, you got to be clear. My website's designed to destroy disinformation and misinformation. There is no excuse not to know. The newspapers use the website. They should have posted it. There's no excuse not to know. So thank you.
Thank you.
The only time period that we're
Excuse me,
concerned
you're not-
about is from
excuse me,
October.
ma'am, you have
October
not
to
been
now.
recognized by the board.
October to now, that's what we're talking about. When the county took over
You
ownership
have
to
not
now.
been recognized by the board, please.
Could I say something while the Ossipee the Ossipee selectman is here? This is going to end up costing far more to
Excuse
the
me,
town
no.
of
You're out of
Ossipee.
order.
You're out of
You are
order.
out of order. Please be quiet. We'd like to continue the meeting.
I would too. You're going to cost the town of
You're out of
Ossipee
order.
far more
Sir?
in expenses for police, for fire, for all the extra things, the busing.
You've been asked to stop UBS for that if you don't.
One I leave now.
Ma'am, you
This
have-
is more hush-hush that they don't want to hear anything.
I live in the town of Brookfield, and it seems like there are a handful of people who don't even live in the town who seem to be behaving a little bit as elitist, where they think that the only people who should have access to private education or out of the public schools are people who can afford it. So as a mom, I'm very glad that the school will be coming.
They won't be paying taxes because they're non-profit.
Oh, go cry somewhere else.
I'll build it right now.
High five on that one.
I'm sorry. Another, yes, sir? Your name?
Madam Chair, my name's Steve Dunkel. Just to clarify, was anything done differently to notify about this meeting that was done in any of the previous meetings? In other words, was the same notice sent out for this meeting that was duplicative of all the other
Yes.
meetings? So what you're saying then is these folks have been able to find out about this meeting, show up to complain, but they didn't show up at the other meetings?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And did you show up at the other meeting?
Did not.
Excuse me.
Did you? No, you came because you found out
Excuse
that
me, ma'am?
your team showed up.
Ma'am, you are out of order.
I'm talking to not you.
I know, but you're not talking at all. Okay, so we will go to, well, you guys are on a schedule. Why don't we go ahead and skip to the Ossipee thing before we do the rest, so these guys can get back to work?
Here's my purse.
Would that be all right with you?
Fine.
That side, please.
Yeah, come on. Okay. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Tony Elders, Public Works Director in Oswego.
Nice to meet you.
Yep.
We have the easement in front of us, and you can go ahead.
So we're just here to answer any questions after you look through the easement. We're trying to figure out a way to try to save county roads.
Just testing. Just testing. We're good.
It's been quite the meeting so far.
Yeah. Any questions you have, we've looked through all the different avenues that we could take to try to fix, to save our road, so we're not putting 50 to 60 grand a year into it when it washes out.
Okay.
And also to try to help you with your fields. They're very wet. And this is what all farmers do, put agricultural ditches in. We talked to FEMA. I've had them down there multiple times. And there's a process we'll have to go through if the easement is signed, but we're willing to do it and work with the county to do it if allowed by the easement.
Is there any expense on our end? I mean, are we,
If we put the drainage easement in, if you put the drainage easement in, we'll put the ditch in, because obviously that will save us the cost of fixing the road. So I don't believe so.
any questions?
I really don't. I mean, I don't pretend to be a DPW person or this. I mean, we've talked to our people, we've talked to the people involved, and they seem to feel it's the right thing to do, and I would not, I don't really have anything to add to that, so if they think it's the right thing to do, our land use people, Martin Connie, everybody says it's the right thing to do, so I don't see why it wouldn't.
Bill is happy with it?
Madam Chair, did you see, he has a video of the water coming off the field, if
Oh,
you
no,
would like,
haven't seen that.
yeah, if you want to show it to everybody, so you can see the amount of water that's coming out of that area, it needs to be more.
This was on July 16th, the storm. That's coming out of the county field, down the driveway. And we need to put that across the road, but to put it across the road the way we are right now, it's just coming back into the road. Neil's worked for the town for over 20 years, and it's done it all the time, but we need to get rid of the water completely so it doesn't come back into the road. And putting that ditch down across the field will, I think that lower part will dry that up so you guys can use it. And if not, you're in the same situation, but at least the road doesn't wash out.
I don't have any further questions. I mean, see, I have no idea.
I don't pretend to be an expert on roads. I mean, it looks, based on that, it makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So wait a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the, or grant them the drainage easement for, let's see, where is it? Well, it's the, which road is that?
County Farm Road.
County Farm Road. And allow them to go forward.
I will second.
Madam Chair, may I interject just one thing?
Yep.
Would you mind adding to your motion pending delegation approval if required, because we still haven't worked out if they have to approve it or
Okay.
not? Is that
So,
acceptable?
yep,
Thank you.
acceptable. Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay,
So we will get this taken care of and get it back to you.
thank you very much, appreciate it.
The time frame for the work to be done will depend on how wet everything is, so, okay?
Thank you, Lenny.
Thank you.
And sorry to
And so
take up
you're
your
aware
time.
that the delegation is meeting the beginning of September, so that would be, if it's required, it would be,
Who needs to determine if it's required? You guys will research it.
we'll consult legal about whether the delegation has
That's
to
quick.
approve it. Is that fair? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for your patience.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. The manifest approval for accounts payable for July 26 was $158,989.04. For payroll for July 28 was $272,085.98.
And Madam Chair, I don't have
You
this
don't have
week's
this
yet,
last
if you
week
might
yet.
hold that till later in the
Okay.
meeting. Thank you.
Okay, approval of the minutes for July 20th. Did you read them?
I read the minutes, I don't have a problem with them. They seem to reflect pretty much what we did. Motion to approve the minutes of July 20th, 2023.
I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's a signature copy.
And we have this one here that you want us to sign also, but we've already approved.
You've already approved those,
Okay.
yes.
Gosh, I can't believe it's August already.
It's August already.
This is one we approved last week, or whatever, but Emmy's gonna, didn't sign it.
Thank you.
Okay, Hale Slope. Shoot.
Do you need me to run over?
Yeah, in my
Okay.
briefcase, there's a thing that says Hales.
Okay.
I think there's a check in there.
And while I'm away, the items under number 8
Mm-hmm,
and number 10,
mm-hmm.
you can actually pass over because those aren't ready.
Okay,
So I don't know if you have other business, but I'll be right back with,
okay. Do we have any line item transfers?
no?
Okay. Bring your checks over and we'll do those too,
Okay, certainly.
if you wouldn't mind. Okay. Do we have any non-public?
Yes, you have 2 sessions under, one is under A and one is under C.
Well, and we really don't have anything else till we go into non-public, so let's take a 10-minute recess.
9:46.
In the courthouse on it too?
Bless his ever living heart.
Okay, let me get Hale's thing out here.
Mr. Chair.
Okay.
All right.
The time is 10:01.
Hey, you haven't been ready.
Oh,
So we're out of recess.
All right, can we
we'll
start
just a
tomorrow?
second. Actually,
It says please respond with dates, I'm like,
Oh, yeah, he only just emailed it last night.
yeah.
we are,
Okay.
okay, coming out of recess, it is 10:01. I have the numbers for the manifest for August 2nd. For accounts payable is $140,960.10. And for payroll for August 4th in the amount of $241,769.57. Are you non-public or public?
I have one public thing just to
Okay.
notify you folks, but everything else is non-public.
Okay,
We received the letter from AFSCME to, please accept this letter as official notification of intent to negotiate a successor agreement. So,
Okay.
just letting you know that.
that's going to start.
Yeah,
That's for the-
we need to arrange dates with them, whatnot.
Okay.
But that's the official notification.
Okay, and,
Madam Chair, would you mind voting on those manifest amounts?
Oh, yeah.
I did, oh,
No, we didn't. A motion to
announced.
approve the
okay.
manifest as presented.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
You're welcome. I believe that Commissioner McNeil said he would like to,
Will you be working with us to negotiate with AFSCME? That would be great.
Sure.
with the nursing home?
Happy
Okay.
to-
We usually take turns, so.
Yep, yes.
I think, well, we have, what else is coming up this year? Jail? No,
Nope,
nothing?
this is the only one.
This is the only one. We worked the number
Yep,
of years
so we
so
could
that
do
it
it.
would just be one a
Okay,
year. So
perfect.
this is it.
Okay, so you can keep that.
I'll keep that. But we don't have meeting dates set up yet, right?
No, I only just got that.
And if you could get him copies of
Current-
the current one,
the
so he
current,
can set you
yeah,
up on that?
absolutely.
current,
Okay.
Would you like that printed or email? Or both? How about both?
Yeah, I
Okay.
tend to do better with reading, but
Yeah.
Okay.
reading on a paper,
Sure thing.
Yeah, especially with a large document.
you can write it up and make notes.
Okay, since I don't think we have any other public business.
Did you have Hale's location or no?
I have nothing. I thought I had a check
Oh,
in here,
okay.
but it's not. It's just deposits
Okay.
that have to be signed and
No
returned.
Hale's location.
Yeah, no hails.
Okay.
So I will read a motion to go into non-public. Under A.
Motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A:32 for A and C.
I will second. All those in favor, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner McGee,
Aye.
Commissioner McCarthy,
Aye.
thank you.
10:04.
Okay. You're ready.
It's 11:08.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we come out of non-public.
I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 11:08. We just have one announcement. that
Are
we
you
have-
sealing the minutes?
Pardon?
Are you sealing or not sealing?
I don't think we have to seal them, do we? There's nothing in there that's...
It's just a good idea to report your sealing or not sealing, just so you don't forget at some point.
I don't think you
forget
need
to.
everything.
I don't think you need to, do you?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And we have one announcement, a new hire, an LNA, Kristen Van Gelder. So welcome her aboard. I don't think we have anything else. We are just going to
Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn. And we will, well, I think we will just, yeah, there's nothing else.
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourn? Okay, I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And it is 11:09.
09.